Welcome to the top of the world.
Hello, welcome to Top of the World. Welcome to the start of a new project. It's mid-August and it's raining. It's pretty much rained every day. Anyway, behind me is a barn, and it's a long barn, and there's a central door. And there is a problem, obviously, as you can see. We're in the Arctic. And the problem is the owners want access to that barn all the year round, and you can't have access to that barn all year round unless you shovel snow. And shoveling snow is just, well, you get to a certain age and you've shoveled enough snow, if you know what I mean. So we put a porch like this on a long barn 3 years ago with chickens. And anyway, so all we're doing is we're putting a porch on this with the ridge running out, so it splits the snow, keeps the snow away from this door, and then there is easier access year round. That's an exceedingly wet and will be smelly dog doing his thing, because he likes being here. He can run around. We've been on this property a lot. This is where we've been building the cabin, but we're going to put a porch up here, and I have started building the porch, but our job today in the rain, it was raining yesterday as well, and it's going to rain tomorrow, is to put the concrete piles in the front here for the front two posts. So I have already machined up all the timber for this porch, and it's got to be tall enough to clear that door and wide enough for the door to open in a functional way and leave clear access. And as you can see, it's a long barn, and this is the original section, and it was added to, and you can see via the logs, right? So this is the original barn, and then it was added to for animals that way, and added to for workshops and wood that way. But this is the main door, and this door leads both that way and that way. There he is, soaked. So I've got everything I need in the van. Ignore the OSB, the board, because that's for another job. But I've got my pile cardboard, my ready mix, my powder, my stone, and in the side door here we have those. And I've already cut the main posts to fit into those, which is how we're going to do it. So we're firstly going to measure everything out according to the sizes I've already cut all the timber to, and then dig 2 holes. Wow, so exciting. Okay, so anybody's been around the channel long enough knows we're on a glacier bed, and basically our ground is rock and sand. That's the ground without any sand, and it's everywhere. So how surprised was I when I've just hit solid rock? Right, so this post that's got to go in here, there's nothing but rock. So that rock there, that goes all the way out here, can't even move it, can't even wobble it, and then directly underneath it there's another rock there. So I've got to clean that up, key to it. There's no point in digging rock. I can't dig rocks out. Right, we've already got a foundation. This side, I was quite optimistic. Right, we started going down. We missed a huge rock there on the side. Right, and now we're into rock. Anyway, so that's a better one. This one, I'm going to have to clean off the rocks here with all the soil, and then key to the rock and cut that to shape. So we're going to be sitting on rock there, and we're sitting on rock there. Not ideal, this one, because I've got to make sure I got the right key. Fortunately, I remembered to bring my rock drill, and I got some steel rods, so we're all right. We're all right in both places. So I'll clean that off, get that one fitted, then we can mix up some muck and fill these in and put the steel braces at the right point for our structure. Okay, so I didn't film any of this, any of the cutting of the materials on the sawmill, for obvious reasons, okay? But I didn't do it alone. So my Sarah had said to my brother, can you help Simon, right, immediately after my passing, unbeknown to me, in my hour of absolute darkness, and it was there, my brother flew from England and showed up out of the blue. Right, so he helped me get the motivation. I wouldn't be this far on, right, it's 7 days. Right, we're 8 hours away from being exactly 7 days since my Sarah passed. And I got to move. I got to move so badly and so quickly. So, this is everything. This is the basic structure and the side wall end for this porch that I've sawed up. I'm in a position now where I'm going to halve it and load the trailer up, which is on the other side of the door. Still making a noise. So my original plan was to make the building here and here and take it out and fit it on site. My brain is not quite at the point where I could easily do that. Right? And then directly following on from this, I've got to make 2 sets of stairs. So what I'm going to do is half the material, I'm going to take it out on site and fit it to the barn, because I put the concrete piles in yesterday, and then build it there on site, because that way I know I'm right. I think I'm all right, but anyway, so I'm going to halve all my long material. Everything here is at 5 metres, which is the length I cut the trees at, put on the sawmill. I'm only working 2.2 metres. Sorry, feet and inches, I know. I'm going to load up the trailer and take it all out to site and get the structure up today, I hope, which is Sunday. Anyway, I'll just show you where I am. Seems a bit flustered and harebrainish, but it isn't. I know where I'm at. So we're going to get that lot on there and then get it up to site. All right, limp a lot. Yeah, I know. And take the sad dog and go and do our things. And we don't have to do any work on the van because it passed its inspection, as did the nose of the car over there. Right, okay, so we'll get all this lot sorted out. I've got a few extra sizes to do, and my back posts, which is this one here, I don't need them this size. So I'm going to slice this in half because it's good enough, and we're going to bolt it to the existing barn and not freestand it, so that the front stays the same, but as the barn moves, and it does move slightly, the structure will move with it and stop any cracking, splitting and pulling away from the main building. So and there are front beams, or it will be when we're done. Okay, let's get it loaded up. And there we go. As if by magic, Mr. Ben appears. Simon cuts all the timber and stacks it on the trailer. These bits are long because these are all window trims. So what I haven't shown you whilst recorded was me moving the doors and fitting the rest of the windows and doors into the cabin. And then these are the final window trims for the outside. I might pop that in here, or I might wait till we get in onto site. So now that's loaded, we just have to load the wagon and we're going to go to site. It's I think it's 10:20 on a Sunday morning. So we're going to load up all our saws, tools into the van. We can leave the trailer there, obviously, and see if we can get the front posts and the back struts up. And I want to cut everything in. I don't know if we'll get to the roof, but we could at least get the posts and the side rails and stuff up to get the structure up. So we'll see. I got today when it's not raining, and tomorrow when it's not raining, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to rain again. Do I want to be on site in mid-August when the leaves are going on the trees? I'll go on about winter coming, 8 weeks till snow's on the floor. There's evidence. Leaves are yellow, starting to drop off. That means winter's approaching. Stop rising. Good time to cut. Good time to cut. Right. Okay, let's load up the wagon then, and then we can get rolling. All right, up along. Okay, so for context, there is that beautiful cabin we moved 2 years ago and we've been working on ever since. And here's our basic setup. We're only 30 minutes from when I filmed the last clip of us leaving. There's all our wood. We've got a saw set up, our concrete set, or set enough to put the posts on. Barn's open, we've got power. And there you go. I've got the tripod set up there. I'm going to put you on time lapse and I'm going to make a start. And we're going to see where we get to. Alright, so before we get into all of that, what I'm working on is these back posts here. Right, which I've now done. Now I've chopped out the top for the ring beam and I've chopped out the middle and somewhere near the bottom for the side rails. Now what I'm going to do is take these apart because these are correct and then use one of those for the pattern on the post, so that when I bolt this to the barn and stand that up, all these line up and I can connect that front post and make it upright and steady easily, because otherwise I'm going to have to screw things at angles and I want to do it like this. So we've chopped those out and now we're going to do the same with this post and the same with the post in the bottom there, and then when we put it up they should all match, and we can use the side rails there, 2x4s, and then the ring beams 8x2s, and then we're good. Fucking hell. Quite honestly, I don't believe I've just done that and didn't press record. I was just thinking to myself, well, that's taken a little while. I wonder how my battery's doing. Knocking futs, I don't understand. Anyway, there's another reason why I've stopped here, because there was something else I don't understand, which is why I built it on site. I forgot a piece, quite an important piece. Okay. Right, that's the base structure up, and unfortunately that's probably the most important bit other than forming the roof that I didn't record because I didn't press the button. Anyway, I've got a big long chunk that's got to come here that forms the end gable, right? And it's not on the trailer, it's on the sawmill. I cut it this morning. Anyway, so we've been on site, I don't know, a couple of hours now. So that's how that's going to work. Right, and we're missing this big bit goes along the front to form the front gable, to form the back gable, so we can put the ridge in and, you know, do that bit, which is, anyway, ridiculous, really. Okay, well, we've got it square and upright and straight and all screwed off, and everything is good at this point, except that's sat on the sawmill, and I didn't press record. Other than not pressing record and forgetting like really vital piece, yeah, it's gone quite well, really, considering. Right. Okay. Well, I'm not coming back. I'm gonna go and get the sawmill because it's Sunday. It's also my Sarah's first week anniversary of her passing today. So I'm probably just gonna leave all that there and sheet it up and put the tools in the van and go back and then come back tomorrow morning with that, and then we can do the roof. And maybe tomorrow, because we're starting early, we'll get this done. You know. Okay, now we can form the ridge, and then from the ridge we can cut the rafters, form the entire roof. Me not switching the camera on, or whether it's switching itself off. Barge boards, fascias. Okay, now we've got to go and find some tin to match this. There's bits all over the place. Heavy construction, you might say, Simon. Well, yeah, I wonder why that is. So that ain't just got to hold its own snow. When that sheds off the roof, that's all going to shed onto that. All of it. Okay, tin. Right. It's obviously got to match what's up there. And there is stuff on site lying around. It's all new, never been put on a roof. Just badly looked after. Okay, so the long sheets that I had, I knew what measurement they were. And this whole width, pitch, everything is all based on me having these long sheets which I've cut in half. So I had 3 long sheets, so I've cut them in half and they're the right length. And they are all brand new they're not. They're unused galvanized sheets to match what's up there. And I found last time when we were doing the little cabin, there's some other ridges on site, but these are profiled and they're not going to match what's on the ridge up there. But anyway, they're similar, right? So let's put the tin roof on. Roof. Now, I already know what you who don't know are asking. What? Okay, you have to. You absolutely have to. If I didn't put that upstand up there, which is actually a bent sheet, right, half the sheet goes up the wall, half the sheet goes on the roof, finish on the end. In 20 years' time, this original building that stood here for 100 years would be no good. Right, in 15 years time it will be beyond repair, in 10 years time it will be rotten, in 5 years time it will be horribly discoloured and covered in moss. So what happens is the snow piles off. It's all going to sit on this now. Here it will try and shed, but it's all going to sit on this, and it curls back round, and then towards the summer it freeze thaws over and over, and the snow turns into ice, and then it sits and it will flow back against this cabin. Okay, and then it will melt real slowly and it'll all pour into the building. So the overhang, right, and this has guttering, but the snow, you see the guttering of the level, that's what we got to do to this guttering on this house here. Right, the guttering should be way below the level of the roof. So in thunderstorms it pours over the guttering, but more importantly the ice and the snow flows right over the top and doesn't catch the guttering. Every year the guttering on that extension over there pulls off because the guttering's in the wrong place. Anyway, and it'll curl and it'll sit against this building. And you've got to have this flip up stand to push the water away from the building, otherwise it'll just run down here, which you can't have. So that's got to be there, right? Like it or not, that has to be there for the conditions we're in. Right, let's put up some panelling now then, and we're going to do it's not closed board, it's open, slats. So it's going to be, the gap's going to be small, but it's going to be slatted. It's just a shame I couldn't have painted it today. Anyway, let's get those up. Thrown everything on the trailer, literally thrown it on the trailer, because I'm moving 40 feet over there. Anyway, that's this one done, well, except the paint. And that will now allow 12 months a year access to that door without having to dig it out. So if you had to, because of the bridge over the ditch there, if you had to, you could come right up to that with a machine and just back drag it all the way out or dig into it. Anyway, that will cope with the snow loading, the frost, the ice, the nastiness, and once it's painted it will look like it should be there. I don't understand. I still don't understand. Right, where's the limp? Why are he limping? I'm confused, I am. Anyway. Now we're using the real Rood Follow, which is the ore that's taken from the copper mines to make this stuff up. I don't know if it's going to go through my spray gun. Now I bought myself a new spray gun back last year, a cheapy one, because my last cheapy one at 25 years old is about done. I can't imagine I was going to use my new spray gun with that. Anyway, I'm going to see how it works. up this morning it was raining, because it was supposed to rain all day today, and Casper was running around like a puppy, and still is, although he is resting up in the van now without a limp, I think. Anyway, and then as I was preparing for yet another day of doom and gloom, the weather broke. Here we are, painted. I've installed the straight steps on the cabin over there. I'm just going to go and paint those. But as far as this project goes, we're done. And turned out just exactly as I imagined it in my mind. From my mind to there, did we do a drawing? Yeah, of course we did a drawing for it. Right, well, that's all I've got for you today. I want to thank everybody, subscribers, friends, family, fellow villagers, everybody that's reached out in my last video. It was overwhelming. Is my initial really bad period of grief done with? Yeah, the grief has turned to anger, the anger has subsided, now it's just disappointment and loneliness, you know, with a little bit of grief chucked in there. So I really appreciate it all. I think I went back and responded, answered to everybody's, you know, messages. There was a lot. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I tried to get back to everybody. Hope I made sense. That was a really bad time for me as well. I promised myself when I did this, I was going to turn the comments off. I'm glad I didn't. And then I also promised myself, well, I'll turn them on and I'm just not going to respond to anybody. And I couldn't do that either. So, you know, thank everybody for reaching out. It's, you know, it's going to be an uncertain period moving forwards as far as me personally and my feelings go. The bureaucracy, do you know, now's not the time. But there is a time when I'll talk to you about the bureaucracy. Anyway, work. I've got lots lined up before the snow comes down. Anyway, this one here, this one is finished. I'm just going to go and wrap up the other one because that was for the next video or the previous video. I don't know. Thank you all for watching, really appreciate it. Bye for now.